Thanks to the support as a channel member, Will Johnson. We proved last season that we can compete, at least in the second tier, in South America. Now let's test ourselves against the big boys. We've got the South American Super Cup final, and we also get started in our Copa Libertadores campaign. And obviously the plan is we win that thing next season. So fingers crossed, eh? And in fact, our start to the season in general has been a little bit rough. We've already lost 2 games. I think we only lost 3 games in the whole of last season. But we have already lost twice in the league, which means 6 games in, we are down in 8th place. 8 points off the top of the table. And frustratingly, it's a top of the table where some of the big boys haven't started well either. I mean, Boca have already lost a game and are only on 16 points. Independiente have won 6 from 6. That should have been us. River Plate all the way down in 13th place with only 8 points on the board so far. It was definitely an opportunity, and an opportunity we might have blown, but we're not here to win the Argentinian league. We're here to win the Copa Libertadores. So let's go try and do that, shall we? But first, we have the second leg of the Recopa Sudamericana, which is the South American Super Cup final. We're 1-0 up from the first leg at our place, and we now have to travel to Brazil to play Cruzeiro in not very good form, as you can see, and see if we can somehow beat the current Copa Libertadores holders. Shall we have a look at their ground? I think we shall. So for those of you wondering, this is the part of Brazil that we're in, Belo Horizonte. And I guess the pitch is somewhere in this large green area, which is next to a large blue area. Let's have a look at the aerial view. And yeah, we've got a big football stadium in the middle of the woods, which is very nice. Is that parking all around it as well? Very considerate. It looks like a nice, newish looking stadium as well. I haven't looked at when it was actually built, but it's had some Google images. Let's have a look at it. Oh, that looks lovely. That is a football stadium, boys and girls. Look at that. This must be relatively new. I want to have a look at it from the outside. It looks very, very nice. Let's plonk ourselves down here in the car park. Is that a car park? Or is this just people mooching around before the match area? I think that's more what it is. Maybe they park underneath. There's coach parking down there. I suspect they park underneath. Looking at it from this angle, it doesn't actually look as new as it looked from the top or from inside. I suspect this is quite an old structure looking at the outside of it, but it's very nice and it's definitely had some renovations done to it recently, and it looks like it's in a very nice part of town as well. Tree could do with a few more leaves, but you can't have everything, can you? And in fact, there's your confirmation. The stadium was built in 1965, so really, really, really old. This is the team we're sending to Brazil. It's Nunez in goal, a back four of Bravo, Godoy, Palazza and Carrera, Torres and Rodriguez in midfield, Tuther, Rodriguez, Bergart and Castillo, then behind Baratza up front. We're pretty close to full fit. I mean, obviously Herrera's injured because Herrera's always injured, and we're pretty much done with him now, I think, just because of the amount of injuries he accumulates. And Rodriguez is just recovering from his injury, but he did play the previous league game, and we are missing him. He's our only really, really good winger after we missed out on that guy in the transfer window and obviously lost our Basualdo back at the end of the season as well when he went back to Inter. We are a little bit light. Castillo's 33 years old, and we are waiting for some more options to emerge who can provide us with that awesomeness out wide that Rodriguez is capable of, and I think the fact he's been missing is what we've been missing. So fingers crossed having him back will allow us to go on and start being super duper again. That's what we're looking for. And I mean, if we can win this, we're setting ourselves up very nicely for the season, because obviously this lot went and won the Copa Libertadores last year. Lovely work from Nunez. We looked comfortable without ever looking like we were going to win by a load in the first leg, but we also didn't ever look like we were going to lose either. And we controlled the game quite nicely, and that was without Rodriguez. And there is Rodriguez. Look, I mean, he's just nice at retaining possession. Torres just nice and tidy in midfield as well. And now Carrera charging down the right-hand side, tucks it into Castillo. Castillo just needs to slide it across goal. He does. And there is Rodriguez. And that is a hugely important goal. First of the night to put us 1-0 up tonight, 2-0 on aggregate. I don't know if away goals are a thing in this, but we are looking good to be the champions of all of South America, which does bode well for Copa Libertadores, which we're about to get started in, which we've obviously not played in before. Cologne probably have. We haven't ever played in it before, and we're very much excited and looking forward to it. We only had one shot on target and we scored it. That's clinical finishing. That's what we like. Let's do another one. If we can make it 3 before half time without conceding, then I'll assume everything is going to be okay. And we're probably in the end times when it comes to our stay in South America, and we need to start prepping for a trip to Europe. If Cruzeiro come back into this game and end up smashing us, then it becomes a little bit harder for us to maybe win the Copa Libertadores this year. Rodriguez playing it out to Castillo again, and now Carrera once again coming past him on the overlap, and this time kind of stumbles and gives the ball away. And this is a very weird highlight because it's now the Brazilians trying to pass the ball through our very crowded central areas. Obviously, our 2 wide men both tuck in. So it is a crowded middle of the pitch, and they've passed their way through it relatively easily. And this is a lovely goal. Oh, my word. I mean, they have ripped us apart there. That is a level of football we're certainly not capable of yet. And if they can do that consistently, we're going to have a very sad day, which I don't really want. I want a happy day. I'm recording this on my birthday. Cue everybody leaving me a happy birthday down in the comments. It's good for the algorithm. Please wish me a happy birthday. I've started aging in reverse for the last 6 months or so. I've been using one of those infrared face masks in the evening that Anna got for Christmas. Use it every night. So yesterday I was 42. I have turned 41 today because off the back of that, I am now going to be aging in reverse for a few years. So I think I'm probably going to take myself back down to my mid-30s again and then bob back up again and just basically move between like 35 and 40 for the next 300 or 400 years is my plan. I've not read the instructions. I'm just basing it on what Anna tells me about what it does. But my understanding is that's how it works. So 41 today, everybody. Very excited about it. It's still 1-1 on the night, 2-1 to us on aggregate. We haven't seen another example of us being ripped apart. So hopefully it was just a fluke. We are going to swap some options around just to be on the safe side. La Pera, Guillem and Arrieta coming on for a whole new spine of the team. Losing Torres is probably not the best plan because we don't have that big, strong, physical presence in central midfield now. We've got a couple of little tippy-tappy guys, but to be fair, they already passed through us like the midfield wasn't there. So we may as well have more guys on who can help us do that passing. That's the logic I'm following from here. And Arrieta might have a little bit more joy than we were getting previously. They're in again, and luckily this time the shooting is a little bit wayward. I certainly think what we've learnt across the 2 legs against Cruzeiro is we're not far away from Arrieta's going to score here. He's popping it right up there, right on the little TikTok logo, and we're going to get very excited off the back of it. The youngster, still a teenager, I think, still only 19. Trying to become our regular starting striker. And it's not exactly where I said it was going to go, but he has scored from the free kick with the help of a big deflection. And it's 2-1, and that should be us adding another trophy to the collection. Let's have a look at just how big of a deflection it was. I mean, to be fair, it was going where I said it was going to go until it hit the deflection. And then the deflection took it towards the goalkeeper. So I guess it wrong-footed him a little bit. It ended up being quite a soft one for the goalkeeper to concede. I'd be disappointed if I conceded that, but I mean, we didn't. They did. We're great. 3-1 on aggregate, 10 minutes to go. We've swapped to the fullbacks. Got to keep the energy levels up at fullback. We've only had 2 shots on target today, and we've scored them both. We're clinical. We're efficient. I mean, they've also only had 2 shots on target. It's not really been one for the neutrals, but we've saved one of theirs. They didn't save any of ours. And that's been the difference between the 2 teams on the night. I think what I was trying to say, there you go, they've missed another sitter, is even if we'd have somehow thrown it away from the controlling position we were in, we've looked as good as Cruzeiro across 2 legs. I think if they legitimately won this last year and it wasn't a fluky, easy run through to the final, if they are one of the best teams on the continent, we're as good as them. And we've proven over 2 legs we can beat them. I think we've got a really good chance of winning the whole thing this season, first time of asking, because that's how we roll. I have prepared a custom trophy just for this occasion. Got it back here. As you can see, this is a direct replica of the Recopa Sudamericana, I think it's called. I looked it up, made sure I got the exact one. One day I'll show you all my trophies together, because I've obviously got a lot of custom trophies that I've made for this Pentagon, but this one is specifically for this competition. And there you go, boys and girls. Champions again. Ole, ole, ole. That's what we do. How many trophy lifts have we had in the last week? We can't get enough of it. Right. I think the plan from here is we're going to jump forward a bit and show you a Copa Libertadores group stage game, which I guess Colo-Colo are the big team in our group. Are they? Or are they? How many times have they won it before? So they've won it twice, including 5 or 6 years ago. Have they ever won it? They've won it 4 times, including more recently. So they're both quite tough teams. Have they won it? Is this actually a really hard group? They're not even loaded in. We don't need to worry about them, but we've got 2. We'll show you Colo-Colo, but there's going to be a disappointed team in this group because there's 3 of us who probably all have our eye on winning the whole thing. And we can't all win the whole thing. That's not how it works. Right, we are starting to find some form. A couple of wins. Another draw is annoying, but we are up to 5th in the league. So I think we're probably going to be okay in the league. We need to make sure we're okay in Copa Libertadores. So this is the big one. So it's Nunez in goal, a back four of Bravo, Contreras, Palazza and Carrera. Torres and Godoy in midfield. Rodriguez, Guilherme and Castillo behind Baratza up front. Big away game. We could have looked at the stadium. Oh, well, we didn't. We've already looked at a stadium, so we can't do it twice in one episode. It gets very complicated. It makes the episodes too long. We'll do it in the next one. You'll be fine. But this is obviously one of the biggest, most important games of this group stage, away from home against a team that have won this competition within the last 10 years. Both them and the other ones, Nacional, were they called? Both of them will be looking at this group thinking, well, it's us 2 who are going through. Let's not worry about Colon, especially if they've not paid attention to what we've been up to over the last 18 months or so. We're going to let them know we've arrived today. Rodriguez gets in behind again. It's been decided at this point, though, he's our best attacker, isn't he? We've kind of got an entire attack built around this little left-footed Argentinian attacker. That doesn't feel like an idea that's going to catch on. Shame he didn't score. Right, what I was trying to do was get the league table on there, because we do need to keep an eye on what's going on in the other match as well. We've got to finish in the top 2 in our group. Obviously, if we win our match, we don't need to worry. And realistically, back in old school Champions League mode, as long as you draw your away games and win your home games, you get through the group. That's how it always used to be in those 4-team groups. But we'd still like to win all the same. Castillo plays it back to Palazza, and now Godoy getting the opportunity to play in midfield again today. Look at that, that's a lovely pass. How is he not a club legend yet? Bravo. Across to Baratza, and he's just had a wild swing at it and missed completely. He's not been quite as effective this season as he was when he came in last year. I still don't know that we've got our striker that we really want, our forever striker. It might end up being Arrieta. It might end up being Herrera if he can get fit. It might end up being the young South African lad who's still off at Stellenbosch rattling in goals. It could be Kurt Villakazi, because he's failing in Germany. Maybe we bring him in if things don't go well this season, although I don't think we can afford his wages. But we're still not completely clear. Nickel in front of goal. I thought Carrera was going to squeeze one through there, but unfortunately he did not. It's still 0-0 in the other game as well in this group. So everything is fine. So, wow, Cerro Porteño, who, they need to calm down. They're supposed to be the team that we all beat and they finish bottom. And Rodriguez is injured again. I don't know what it is about life here at Colon, but the amount of injuries and recurring injuries, and I've addressed it in previous episodes. I know it's one of the reasons why some of these boys are still in Argentina at the age they are. They're too injury prone to get the big move, but goodness me, it's frustrating. Right, Nunez plays it forward to Contreras, who slides it across to Palazza. Palazza to Guilherme. This is some nice football. Carrera again, who's been involved in everything today. Castillo back to Carrera again, and now Godoy. I mean, he's a centre-back playing in midfield. Or is he? Is he actually a midfielder who's been playing at centre-back for most of the last year? Who knows? Either way, it was sloppy from him. He gave the ball away. He has won it back there, though, which does lead me to think he's a centre-back playing in midfield. Right, Rodriguez, who's probably coming off at half-time, but can he create something for us before he does? Godoy, across to Castillo. I thought he'd hit the crossbar. It's actually a save because we've got a corner here, and it's going to be Castillo coming across to take. I think he's going to take the pervert corner. We've come very short with Rodriguez, who tries to slide it across to Carrera with the cheeky one, but unfortunately he's not able to, and I think that's probably the last contribution of Rodriguez today. We've got Mancinelli down on the bench, so he can come on and slot in nicely. I mean, Mancinelli's a player who's never let us down last season. I think he was above 20 for combined goals and assists last season. Let's have a little look. Am I making that up? I don't think I am. 19. I am a filthy liar. Although, to be fair, that was league contributions only. So I imagine when you factor in South America and Europe, he would have been well above 20. So certainly not disappointed to have to bring him on. And we have been the better of the two teams. Colo-Colo not even had a shot on target yet. We look better than them. They're going to score here, aren't they? Right, Torres heads it up in the air. I mean, he's 6'4". He should be handling these defensive clearances a little bit better than that. We've got him stood there on the near post to be a brick wall they have to get the ball around. Barazza's just not turned up again. Arrieta comes on for him. Castillo's going to come off for Flores. We do have options. It's just a lot of the options are fairly similar to each other. We don't really... Part of the problem we've got, I think, is that we don't have absolute standout players apart from the likes of Rodriguez. But can we sneak a longish throw into the penalty area? We've got the two big boys. I think that's Palazza and Torres waiting for the ball there. It's Palazza who gives it back to Godoy. Now Palazza again, surely he's not going to shoot. No, he plays it across to Carrera, who does shoot. And that's a bit of a waste because we've got so many attacking options and it's three defenders who are the only ones we get to see as part of the move. Godoy's going to come off now for Rodriguez. And then I think we'll also take off Guilherme. We won't because we don't have anyone to bring on for him. In fact, we can move Rodriguez forward. So Rodriguez can go to there. Lopera can come on in midfield. And that works for me. Get a little bit more creativity in there between Lopera and Rodriguez, who this time last year were our nailed-on starters in central midfield. Lopera is another one who just gets injured so often. It's infuriating. And now my doorbell's ringing. Oh, it was my birthday cake arriving, boys and girls. How very exciting. Right. Oh, we've had an injury. That's less exciting. Are we going to win this football match? Nacional have now gone ahead against them. That's the correct order of things. You know what? Coming here, picking up a draw, especially when we went down to 10 men, it's not the end of the world as long as we don't mess up the home game against them. That should be fine. We then see that game there is crucial. So I think we'll do that tomorrow. We'll figure it out. We'll come up with a plan. I think we're going to win the whole thing, though. I thought that beforehand, so we'll see, I guess. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. Thank you very much to these beautiful Patreon folk, and thank you very much for watching.